this season with the Bears. And here we go. And Hester wants no part of that return, so we'll bring out Josh McCown. Front, offensive front. Over to Marshall. And Jimmy Smith is all over him right away. Strong corners with the Ravens. 2nd and 10. And it's Forte breaking the tackle and picking up 15, about half the rushing total he had last week. When
good feeling.
And it begins to rain now as the snap is botched. And McCown able to make the most out of it he possibly can. No gain. First play to Marshall. You saw the ball weaving in the winds. Here's McCown. Going to roll out and run with it now. And again, he's just back to the line of scrimmage. Into the gust right now. Gusting up to 35. 3rd and 10. And wide of the mark, looking for Alshon Jeffries. Back, Patrick Manley, the longtime snapper, is inactive with an injury. And that snap was affected by the wind. One hopper to Tandon Doss. And he's walloped a couple of times, and the ball's picked up by the Bears. The Bears, and they're going to bring it back to the 34-yard line as McManus takes off with it.
Tacked.
The ruling on the field is that the returner was down by contact. First down, Baltimore.
Upstairs. I think it's a good decision on his part.
Out of the shotgun, Flacco throws, and he's got a completion. 2 against Cleveland is starting to heal. They expect he may have a good game, and here he goes. It's Rice inside the 40. Rice inside the 20. Shakes off the tackle and is out of bounds. Sets up a 1st and goal at the 10. Back to Rice, looking for something to open up. Nothing there. And this time stopped for no gain.
Mistakes.
You saw Tillman for a brief moment on the sideline. 2nd and goal. And Flacco's got the protection. And back to the end zone. And a flag is out.
Pass interference. Defense, number 47. Foul occurs in the end zone. By rule, the ball will be placed on the 1-yard line. First down.
Chris Condensed.
And it's Rice spinning. And he slides across, but he was on the ground first. Still at the 1. That first
Fires up the offensive line.
On 2nd ago, the fake to Rice, and rolling out Flacco. Looks and throws and tried to hit Pitt up. And it's Dennis Clark.
Close to the goal line.
Very close, but 3rd and goal it is. And Rice, look at that lane. Touchdown, Baltimore.
Like they can run outside. We saw it on the first play off the left tackle. This time the defense is compressed. Nice, patient play. Oh, my gosh.
How about that block by Shipley? And it's 7-0. Together. To get off to the fast start. And then Tucker sends it to the back of the end zone. Waiting for that to unfold. It's Forte for about 3 and way speed, about 60 miles an hour. These storm cells. 2nd and 7. And there's a ball on the ground. Jeffrey, I thought, might have had the catch. And they're going to have it as a catch and then down at the 30 for a first.
Evidence.
Chicago is challenging the ruling on the field of a catch down by contact. Timeout.
Here's what happens where it could change. He now has possession, and his move, a football move, is to go to the ground. Even though it happened so fast, that move by Jeffrey going to the ground could make it a fumble and a recovery by the Baltimore Ravens.
After review, the ruling is an incomplete pass. The receiver did not maintain possession through the process of the catch. The ball is incomplete. It will be Chicago's ball. 3rd down and 7 from the 23-yard line. The ball will be placed in the middle of the field. Baltimore will not be charged a timeout. With the game clock operator, please reset the game clock to 9 minutes, 17 seconds. 9:17 on the game clock, please.
The winds are swirling inside the stadium. So it varies. Here's McCown.
Did you see that football?
Is knocked down by the wall of wind on about 35. And again, tricky on the snap. There is Jacoby Jones, this time fielding it. And he is twisted down at the 26-yard line. First and 10. And Flacco to Dixon. And it slides off his fingertips. Should have had it. The return. Second and 10. Rice slides off the hip and comes close to another 10 yards. Not ideal conditions for any offense to break out, but third and 2. What a catch. That's Dallas Clark, and that's his 500th career catch.
Opportunities, they'll get it done.
Pierce in at running back, and his numbers have dropped significantly as well as he's been. Yeah, we got something for you to do off season. Second and 7. There could be contact there, and the flag comes out on Bowman.
There are multiple fouls on the play. Offside defense, number 97, that penalty is declined. Also pass interference defense, number 38, spot foul, automatic first down.
The football, then every once in a while let him hold on to it, and rip it down the field.
He's got another completion. At Indianapolis, including one year where he caught over 100 balls from Peyton Manning. Second and 6. And Pierce this time is going to be shoved out of bounds by Bowman. Flacco in trouble, unloads it. And Rice with that wiggle or two may have brought field goal into play here. Picks up 4 on the road from beyond 50. From 52. The kick is good. Well, during that break, they just made an announcement, plus they put it up on the screen here for all to see, to please clear the stadium seating area. This is the dangerous weather band that we've been watching for the last couple of hours. It was 150 miles southwest of Chicago when we first received reports that there had been a tornado sighting. And this area then was elevated from a tornado watch to a tornado warning.
Due to the inclement weather, the game will be temporarily suspended.
It'll be at about 2 hours total length of the delay once we get play started. They're back warming up on the field. Yes, blue skies now dominating as these weather systems have moved through. 1 hour and 55 minutes later, and an off-balance kick squibbed down to about the 28, and that's Dante Rosario. The Bears from the 33 with McCown looking down the field, and that pass behind his receiver Brandon Marshall. Second and 10, Forte, whose first carry of the day went for 15 yards. It's a third and 6. Suggs coming in, pass gotten away in time because Suggs, again, watch his footing. He's a two-step punter, which is a good thing today for sure. And Doss runs away from it as it bounces out at the 20.
Rain today goes, well, whatever, I'm not worried about it.
Here's Flacco completing the pass to Torrey Smith for 5. Both out. So they brought Doss in the slot to the right on this play. Second and 5. Second option, and it's Dixon who has it for the first down across the 40. Go to 5 different receivers. On first down, the draw to Rice, and he'll carry a couple of Bears with him for a gain of 5. And fake to Rice, and up the middle, and almost intercepted. Dixon had his hands on it, and then off the deflection, Conti. When they'll sail with the wind and movement and flags and a stoppage.
Neutral zone infraction defense, number 98 was in the neutral zone, causing the offense to false start. 5-yard penalty, still third down.
And 1. And Rice from the 49 of Chicago. Flacco gets away from the heat and slides.
In high school playing baseball.
Second and 6. Rice. He's hit right away. Clark shifting around. Third and 7. Flacco Puck fake a couple of times. Takes off for the first, and he's got it. Get that play off before the end of the quarter. Now with a first down run, it's Pierce. Then he picks up 4. From the 31 of the Bears. And a flag is down as Flacco goes to the safety valve. Pierce for no gain.
Holding. Offense, number 73. 10-yard penalty. Replay. Second down.
So let's talk a little harder for other receivers to get open because the focus is not on Anquan Bolden.
Here comes Peppers, and he gets to Flacco at the 50.
Practicing very little, rested up, got it done that time.
3rd and 24. Over the head of Rice. Oh, here comes Sam Cook now to punt it with Hester back. And it bounces into the end zone, but there is a flag.
During the kick, legal use of hands, hands to the face. Return team, number 38. Result of the punt was a touchback. The penalty will be enforced from the 20-yard line back to the 10. First down, Chicago. Timeout.
Up yardage. This is their 4th series of the game. Chicago with Forte. He's got 10, 15, give him 20.
Personal foul. Horse collar tackle. Number 32 defense. 15-yard penalty after the end of the run. First down.
From the 45. And another 2.
Very talented. He gets to show all those skills off.
Second down to Bennett. Boost for the Bears when he's played. He's played well. Faces 3rd and 3. Hits the target. For the first down, he's got Marshall. Marshall's numbers since joining the Bears last year are just huge. Here's the end around to the other wideout, Jeffrey. And he's got a first down. Seal the pocket. McCown hits the target. And it's Jeffrey on the receiving end this time. And he sets him up with a first and goal at the 6. Got a first and goal at the 6. McCown to the end zone and knocked down. Corey Graham on the coverage. Bears back in 2007. Played 5 years for him. Second and goal. Forte able to take it close to the 3. McCown to the end zone and knocked down by Jimmy Smith, but a flag.
Monitor the pass. Holding. Defense. Number 22. Half the distance to the goal. Automatic. First down.
And it's cut down at home since week 1 against Cincinnati. They're going to go up top, and it's incomplete. Of the drive again that began back at the other 10. On second and goal. Pass incomplete. Going for the fullback. Meta. And they do again to the end zone. And Jimmy Smith had the perfect position on Marshall. 16 of 17 on the year. This from 20. And chips it through. The go situation from the 6. Actually had 5 snaps from inside the 7-yard line, but only managed a field goal. Running it out is Jacoby Jones. Slips a bit and then falls after contact at the 28.
Doesn't get enough credit for all the good he does with his legs.
On first down. Oh, it's intercepted! That's Bass taking it home for the touchdown. State, David Bass timed it perfectly. Made the grab and took off 22 yards to the end zone.
He sure did.
Boy, this is something they do so well since defense since the start of 2012. Jacoby Jones will not touch that one. Out to the 20.
Give it about a foot more than you think to make sure it doesn't get tipped.
Pierce stacked up and a loss of 1, and just second and 11. And Flacco goes right side. There's a hit. That is Tim Jennings. 3rd and 9. Flacco dumps it off. And Rice knows where to go for that first down. He's got it with ease. Down the field. Well catch. That's Camden Doss. And it's confirmed. Flacco's sixth different receiver in this game, giving him a first down at the 49. And that's Pierce with a nice cut running behind Marshall Yanda.
The NFC North, you're going to have to win a lot of games down the stretch to win that division.
Flag as Flacco will scramble again and slide with Peppers by his side, and that might draw another flag. It does.
Multiple fouls on the defense. Offside, number 97, penalty declined. Personal foul, unnecessary roughness. Late hit on a sliding quarterback. Defense, number 90, 15 yards, first down.
So that's a good call on the field.
First down from the 25. Flacco completes this one. In this game today, a couple of these early throws as Rice takes it down to about the 5. To the end zone, and it is caught for a touchdown. Do have a flag though. Torrey Smith with the catch.
Pass interference. Defense, number 38, penalty is declined. Result of the play, touchdown.
I'm not sure if he changed the play on the outside. Oh, there's the hold. Bowman, they called it that time, but a small window. Flacco fires it through it. Look how big he is. He makes it look so easy. That's a beautiful catch in traffic.
They're giving up the pick 6. Oh, nice snap. Good job by Cook getting it down on extra points. Never missed one in college in Texas either. So the drive line kick. Hester steps out at about the 26. Goes down, fake to Forte. Now he'll throw it to him. And a blocker in front. He gets out to about the 32. And again, Jimmy Smith in on a play. Gain 6. Second and 4. And McCown here will give it again to Forte. And he stopped at the line, but another flag is out.
And I think Josh McCown.
Offense, number 15, 10-yard penalty. Replay, second down.
Sorry, didn't mean to.
This is his 35th career start today. And that's a false start against the Bears.
False start. Offense, number 83, 5-yard penalty, second down.
7th penalty against Oakland, Carolina, and Chicago for the quarterback who takes it out of the gun on 2nd and 19. Forte with a nice juke.
It's really not going to change a lot for the Baltimore offense.
Well, McCown hits Marshall, drops it. Big drop here because now instead of a first down, you got to punt it away. Flacco's just driven the Ravens 80 yards. And that came very close to touching Asa Jackson.
Tells you what he feels. Has great confidence in his team.
Pressure and still on his feet. May have been down.
Yep.
And they do rule him down.
Really careful on what you decide to do with the football.
And a flag. And it looks to be a false start.
False start. Offense, number 73, 5-yard penalty, second down.
Down there, that wind is strong on the field right now.
Drop play. Rice for 3. Punted out of bounds.
Didn't hesitate, no.
3rd and 16. Way down the field, and it's intercepted. That is Bostic, the rookie, right in front of Dallas Clark, and he pulls it down at the 50.
Their history. Overload blitz.
First down, McCown steps up, hits his man, Marshall. McCown slips out of the sack, goes sideline. And the catch is made by Jeffrey. Flips it up ahead, Forte, and he skips out of bounds. Almost at times. 1st and 10. And McCown to the end zone. Man's open, and Bennett incomplete. The ball hit the ground.
Holding. Offense, number 63. 10-yard penalty. Replay, first down.
So interception. 10 seconds to go in the half.
And they're going to play it safe.
McCown launches it to the end zone, and ball is caught by Marshall, but he did not have both feet down. To close out the half. Bolt's kick. It's good.
What you need to do with the football. How about that?
Ball's on the ground and fallen on right there on the spot at the 29-yard line. With Rice at running back. Off right tackle. And he's able to step ahead for 6. And it's Rice again. This time nothing unfolds, and he's dropped back by James Anderson for a loss of 2 and 6. How it affects his throw. Well, he zips it right in there for the completion and the first down to Tandon Doss.
Excellent call by Jim Caldwell.
From the 42, first down. Rice runs low for 7 out to the 50.
You said it right. He can.
2nd and 3. And it's Pierce for the first down. Third and 1. Inside give to Leach. Stacked up. And it looks like the spot from the far side is more favorable for Baltimore than the near side.
But you know, you talked about Matt Burke.
First down.
He retired. Has been hit too much so far this year.
First down give. Pierce hurdles, but is still tracked down for a loss behind a line by Bostic and Bath. Ball for 4.5 minutes to start the second half. 2nd and 13. And just as Rice was trying to make a second cut, he lost his footing for no gain, and Peppers was there waiting on him anyway.
What counts?
They've hit 2 third down conversions on this drive, and finally they wave this play dead.
Neutral zone infraction. Defense, number 90. 5-yard penalty, still third down.
3rd and 8. Oh, got it away. Got the hook up with Doss.
How about that throw? Joe during the Super Bowl.
First down. For 2 for Rice. It was an old quote Flacco gave us one time. He said, "You're going to talk about my throwing motion."
Most quarterbacks do it.
2nd and 8. Rice is walloped first by Bostic, and it's no gain. You saw 3rd and 8 as Flacco sails over the head that time of Torrey Smith. And what about the decision making here with all this wind? 4th and 8. Pressure from behind. Ball is out. And it doesn't matter the recovery. It's going back the other way to Chicago. Covered his own fumble, but it didn't matter. It was 4th down. On 1st and 10. Cutting outside is Forte. And he's tripped up by Ladarius Webb after 3. Signed this week. He was the one who lead Flacco. 2nd and 7. Forte again sidesteps. A tackle at the line and is able to pick up 3 out of it. 8 carries. 3rd down and 4. Go in the round again with Jeffrey. And it's open. It's open for the first down. His 2nd into round of the day. And 3rd down conversion of the game for the Bears. They go inside with Forte. And he's down to the Baltimore 45 after a gain of 3. We should
Try to overcome. You don't hear that too often.
2nd and 7. Lying on the ground as Forte has Canty on his back. Mark Trestman telling his team embrace that adversity. 3rd and 4. And the Ravens are all over that one as Forte is wrapped up first by Arthur Jones, and Doss have already been back. Return punts. Now it's Webb who's not going to have a chance to handle it as that one comes slipping off the side of the foot. It goes out of bounds, though, here at Soldier Field. And the Ravens take over at the 13. Pierce dumps to the outside. And Tim Jennings rides him out. He was running behind Vontae Leach. He picked up a nice gain. Bit of a throwback feel to it, isn't it?
Yeah, it feels good. Looks good.
Dirty uniforms. You got to love it. Here is running play right into the back of Michael or Pierce for a loss of 1. Deontay Thompson in as an extra receiver. 3rd and 3. And Pierce, they're going to spot him a yard short. They'll mark him down at about the 22. Going to draw a flag. Bowman in the back with the block. He hit Trawick in the back. Did Bowman. So there's Trawick on the tackle.
During the return, illegal block in the back. Return team number 38. 10-yard penalty. First down, Chicago.
Bowman changes field position by 16 yards. Bears from the 17. Forte's getting a lot of handles here in this quarter. He's got 4 more, but it'll be 3rd and 1. Looks like only about a yard to go. Little movement. Oh, and it's against the Bears here.
False start.
False start.
Offense number 83. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
Points are less. They got Bush in the backfield on 3rd and 6. As McCown has an open target, it's Jeffrey. Graham ends the run after the catch at the 36, but it's good for 15. 4th quarter. Looking for Marshall. They make the call a catch at the 48. We had Jimmy Smith on.
It's what this league is. It's about throwing and great catches, isn't it? These wide receivers are phenomenal when it comes to making catches.
And that's Forte trying to drive the legs. Held. That's actually Michael Bush for 2.
One of them to show you a good example.
2nd and 8. And that's Jeffrey. He was trying to turn and run upfield, but lost his footing after 15.
Seeing can work in this wind.
Going again, and little behind Marshall. Holding the 2nd best corner in the league behind Rivas. 2nd and 10. Fighting near the 1st down. The ball came out on Jeffrey. The ball came out. Just the way the officials are trying to untangle the pile here. It doesn't appear they ruled him down. Well, they say recovery Chicago. Able to recover. He was the one who came up with it out of the pile.
Watch it when he goes to the ground. How does Jeffrey get this football back? It's down below his legs, and it looks like Smith will reach over and grab the football.
No idea how he ended up with it. It was definitely a fumble. Baltimore sideline.
He would be challenging the recovery.
Baltimore is challenging the ruling on the field of a completed catch. Timeout. After review, the ruling on the field stands. Completed catch. Baltimore is charged with their first timeout of the half. Baltimore is also out of challenges for the remainder of the game.
Time to overcome if that decision hurts you.
And they toss it outside. It's Forte, and he's got the first down on 3rd and 2. Jermon Bush right for Forte, who's lined up 7 yards behind the line of scrimmage. McCown. And he got out of that play in a hurry as D'Angelo Tyson downs him. Here's the pass to Forte. Slips to the top. He's at the 5 and still on his feet. And he's across for the touchdown. Matt Forte.
White. That's what I thought I heard. But he saw tight man coverage, and Kyle Long gets the block on the man that was covering Daryl Smith. He gets
good on the extra point. That's the here's the goal kickoff. Bounce it at the 6. Jacoby Jones picks it up at the 5, and he is surrounded at the 10.
Go get that Flacco. That's what he's telling him.
And the Bears defense stops Rice at the line for no gain. Delay. And now we're inside 10 minutes to go. Flacco to Jacoby Jones. And he gets within 2 of the first. Coach, 3rd and 2. Pass off the hands of Tandon Doss. Who's made a couple of big 3rd down catches, but not this time. From Sam Cook. Morgan Cox to snap it back. Lester might have a chance to return one. Well, lets it bounce instead. And it just deadens at the 30. And Chicago with 9:05 to go with the lead at 20-17. And a handoff to Forte for 3. And a reminder,
have been very good.
McCown is 5 out of 6 in this half, and he goes in the round for the 3rd time. The reverse with Jeffrey, and he saw that Daryl Smith was closing in on him and is dropped for a 1-yard loss. Right to the 40 is where they need to go. Pressure, McCown gets it away. Closing in quickly, Elam, but a flag is out. Forte had made the grab and good for only a yard.
Personal foul, roughing the passes. Defense number 58, 2-hand shove to the quarterback. 15 yards, automatic 1st down.
So fast, I disagree.
First down for Chicago. As Michael Bush gets 5. It's that time. 2nd and 5 for the Bears. And that's Bush again. Wrapped up quickly by McLean for a loss of 2. 3rd and 7. McCown. Ball caught and reaching for it. It's Jeffrey. Looks like they're going to spot him just short. League with that 2-step format. Webb is the returner. Fair catch signal and made at the 15. 4:48 to go and 2 timeouts. Flacco. Incomplete. He's going for Rice. On 2nd and 10. And no flag. He was thrown in the area of Thompson. 10. Flacco. Open man. It's Torrey Smith trying to make the move for the first. And that looks like a horse collar. There is a flag. There it is. And probably would not have needed the horse collar to keep him short of the first. Put on injured reserve.
Foul. Horse collar tackle. Defense number 38. 15-yard penalty added to the end of the run. 1st down.
So on 1st down. Open lane for Rice to the 50. Running right behind the center. Gradkowski for 13. And it's back to Rice. And another 6 yards picked up. 2nd and 4 call. And going for the big ball. Looking down the field, and it's out of bounds, incomplete. Deontay Thompson was the receiver. Batted down. And we'll see if they'll go for it. They have the 2 timeouts and the 2-minute warning. Flacco. Pass caught. What a catch it is by Dallas Clark. To the 30, he reached out and got a paw on it.
Nobody is really open. I'm watching Dallas Clark go across. Chris Conte had perfect position, but Joe Flacco threw it the one spot where only his guy could catch it. Dallas Clark, we've seen him many years, Jim.
He makes the grab and puts him at the 30. To the ground. And Rice pounds it ahead for 3 more. Over to Thompson for another first down at the 16. First down give, Rice. Up the middle. Inside the 10 and down to the 5. First and goal to go.
I guess the Chicago Bears are not going to use their timeout.
And it's Rice getting it. Rice still on his feet. Down to the bottom of 2. Second and goal. They go ground. Bounce it around and nowhere to go as Rice was set back a yard. Chris Conte and company. Nearly 5 hours after it started. Ball on the ground. Flacco back in the end zone. Too high. And there will be a field goal attempt to send this game to overtime. Up and getting it down. This to tie it. And the kick is good.
A lot of pressure.
Here does get back, get it on the ground quickly. And the Bears take a knee with Michael Ford. Kneel down here. We'll send this to OT, and for the Ravens side, they'll be playing an overtime game for the 2nd straight week. Again, 1 15-minute quarter. The first possession, the game can end on a touchdown or a safety. If the score is tied after each team's first possession, the next score will win the game. There are no more coaches' challenges. The Ravens had run out of them anyway in regulation, but now all the rest of the way it's booth reviews only.
Right.
The rules of overtime balls. Each team will have an opportunity to possess the football unless the first possession results in a touchdown or safety. Each of you will have 2 timeouts. 4th quarter timing rules will be in effect, and all replays will come from the booth. Okay? Visiting captain, we're going to call the toss.
Tails.
Call us tails.
That ball,
It is a tail. You've won the toss. You'd like to receive. Which way would you like to kick? Okay, spin. Baltimore's won and will receive.
to run the goal. Slams it down the field and it drives right through the end zone. Flacco and the Ravens started at the 20, or will they? There's a flag down in the area where the ball was kicked, which means it's going to be offsides against the kicking team.
Offside on the kicking team, number 32. It's a 5-yard penalty and we will re-kick.
13 flags. Same strategy here by Gold. Actually doesn't travel that far. It's on the ground and picked up at the 30. And that's Juszczyk who has it.
Wow.
And this 5-yard penalty amounts to a difference of about 17 yards for the Ravens.
The first time.
And around with Jacoby Jones. And 2 Bear defenders are on him, including Bostic, and holding him to 4. Major Wright was in on it also. First down as Flacco reads the pocket and slides for a 1-yard gain. Right at midfield. 2nd and 9. And that's Rice for 4 more. He's up to 131. 1 safety deep at the 30, 3rd and 5, and the pass incomplete. Off the hands of Doss, and Jennings, who had again been shaken up at the back of the end zone, what Coach Harbaugh discussed with us last night. Ball just plugs into the 20-yard line. Almost embedded. Right into the meat of the line, and Chris Canty is there for the quick stop of 1.
You said it right.
Second and 9 in the count. With time. And the hand of Jeffrey, his tight end as they break huddle. Third and 9. McCown step up. Gets the completion to Jeffrey and a first down.
Same mistake that we saw earlier.
McCown down the field, throw, and the ball's caught by Bennett. Still on his feet at the 25, and Graham finishes him off at the 21. And the Bears are in field goal range. Up for 43 yards. High ahead, that's Forte for another 8. 3. Forte will get back yardage. That's Canty, who's had a very aggressive game today. Loss of 4.
Sure.
Here's the kick on the way, and the kick is good, they say. And it was close. It didn't make it by much. Did a good job getting this down a little inside on the snap. Barely inside the right upright.
Yeah, it was. And what a game by the Bears. Undermanned. Backup quarterback.
Robbie Gould delivers it from 38 yards.
Really good outing. He is 4 for 4 this year when it comes to coming in and just getting the job done.
Pulling even at 6-4 with the Lions. Again, even though the Lions have beaten them twice, big win by the Bears. The Ravens, meanwhile, fall back into a 3-way tie for second. Some 2.5 games behind Cincinnati in the AFC North. Robbie Gould, the winner from 38 yards. Trying to gauge the wind just right.